Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026, and unusually today I'm starting the walk from a church, the only church on this walk, which is Country Walking Magazine's Fulbourn circular, around 9.5 miles today. And this church is St Vigor's, Fulbourn, Cambridgeshire, just to the east of Cambridge, and very pleasant and spring-like it is, as you can see here. The weather at the minute is misty, but that's due to clear shortly, and room for an afternoon of sunshine apparently, hence why I'm out on a Wednesday. So good stuff. Time has just gone 12 bells pealed out of this church tower, and interestingly opposite is the 6 Bells pub, which is where this walk by my old favourite Phoebe Taplin starts. So invariably, as it's a Phoebe Taplin walk, there'll be some road walking involved, I'm sure. Interesting bell tower up there. So as I say, just gone 12, about 4 hours of walking I'd imagine. You have to get a bus from Cambridge station, the number 1. It drops you right off outside the pub, so that's handy. I'm not going in the church at the minute, but like I say, it is right at the start of the walk. There's a country park handily placed around 6 mile in, I think, for lunch. Got variation of heights today, as you'd imagine in Cambridgeshire, starting at 38 foot, but going up to a lofty 253, I think it is. So quite hilly for this area. Let's crack on. It's the old Lich Gate as I leave the church. So there's the 6 Bells opposite the church, and some convenience stores for those that need sarnies, etc. The church from the rear. Quite a busy village this as well. This road, Church Lane in particular. Some interesting almshouses here to the rear of the church. Now joining the Harcamlow Way, of which I've walked a number of sections in the past, and we're headed towards Fulbourn Fen Nature Reserve, Fleam Dyke and the Roman Road. Pretty good walking underfoot thus far. So that's where we're at, and as you can see from the field, pretty fen-like already. Brightness is starting to increase through the mist, which is good. So here's an example of what all the house building around Cambridge has done. Cherry Hinton's near here. Quite a lot of modern new houses there, and even though we're in, or just at the end of February, Fleam Dyke, there's no water in the dyke. Very worrying. There should be, but as I've previously commented, this hasn't been really a particularly wet winter. So we've now reached this info panel about Fulbourn Fen. Google that for more information. And it's a left here through the gate, across the fen. As a song thrush joins us in the background. Wonderful. And there he is. Wonderful songster. Sign of the times here, they're counting people passing through the gate. There's a beam. Some pretty impressive oaks there. And another song thrush behind me now. It's getting very spring-like. But although it's the 4th of March, I've not yet heard the chiff-chaff, which traditionally should be here by now. Could well be in the southern counties. I haven't been down there lately. So I'm anticipating hearing one very shortly. A little bit of boardwalk in here, and rightly so, as you can see with that water there. Dogs on leads. I've just seen a bloke walking across the fen with a pack of 6 little beagles or something. And it's outrageous the way people flout the rules. They've got no understanding really of how dogs worry wildlife. I mean, this is a nature reserve. I bet he's a Londoner. I bet the bloke was a Londoner. They come out of the city thinking they've got a right to do exactly what they want in the countryside with all their equity, and they just don't understand how it works really. Sad. Information panel here about the Wilbraham rivers and how they're being protected. Again, as usual, you can use a search engine to research that if you're interested. But you can see why, as I mentioned earlier, that these streams and rivers need protecting, because there's no water in them at the moment. And clearly, not so long back, there was. I mean, this is shocking, absolutely shocking. You can see the watermark, or where it was. Not a stitch of water in it, bone dry. Very sad. So over in the distance there, we have Fleam Dyke, which was thought to be built in the 7th century, I believe. We'll have a look at the info panel over there to protect the Mercians, I think it was. Let's have a read anyway when we get there. Well, this info panel's not very legible actually. Okay, I'm stood on the dyke now, about 108 foot here, and it's a shame that it's still misty, because you get a decent view across the plain here. And behind me, so there's some little ditch down there, if I'm 100 foot up, that invaders would have had to have crossed. It's now a haven for wildlife. This information panel is much clearer and tells us that there's an old railway around here somewhere as well. The Newmarket and Chesterford line. Only lasted 3 years, mind. But like I say, if you want to have a little read about this area generally, Fleam Dyke, Google it. I wonder if this brick building here had something to do with the railway. Seems a bit out on a limb for it not to have done. Now from a distance you can see how the dyke stands above the rest of the land. Yeah, how it was built up. At this three-armed finger post we take a left off the path towards Bolsham Road and Wandlebury Country Park, which is 3 miles hence. We encounter this fallen tree, which has obviously been here for some time, and this section looks a bit railway-like. See, there is a group of new houses that I was mentioning earlier. Well, only a small one, mind, but you know, cumulatively they're draining the water supply now into an area of cereals. Here's another dyke, bone dry, and a worrying aspect is that these hedges alongside the dyke would have once had a ready-made water source. Now they haven't, and it looks very much like they're dying off as well. So no habitat for the birds, resting spots, etc. Former sweet corn barrier. In Memory Wood. Now this is interesting, this woodland. It's to commemorate the COVID pandemic and the struggles and deaths involved with it. So in lieu of a church cemetery today, this would make an appropriate place for lunch, seeing as the country park is 2 miles hence and it's now 20 to 2. So to time my lunch appropriately, another little oasis pops up for me. Very good. This wood was planted in 2023 by Cambridgeshire County Council. Yeah, seems appropriate. Yeah, Google that if you wish to learn more about Memory Wood, named by pupils from Fulbourn Primary School. So thank you Woodland Wishes Funeral Services, getting their advertising in. Very appropriate. Okay, just gone 2. Lunch has been had, and the sun is just starting to break through. But per the Met, just looked at the website for this area, sun should already be out and remaining that way for the rest of the afternoon. Their website was updated at 13:29. So yeah, not very accurate, are they, as I continue to say. Anyway, fingers crossed it gets through this cloud and warms up a bit, because there is quite a chill southeasterly this afternoon. Oh, thanks to Memory Wood for lunch. Let's press on along the path that runs alongside it. So about 3 miles down at the moment, 6.5 to go. Classic commercial agriculture out here. Big fields, hedges ripped out. I am hearing some skylarks, but not much else. And the soil looks amazingly dry, considering the rain we've had over the last few weeks. Shocking, isn't it? House building is absolutely decimating the water table. Can't see that clearly enough to identify it. Little finch. I suspect, because I can't see the colourings, But I did think I saw a siskin a minute ago, or a linnet. I'll have to check that when I get back. All thanks to Memory Wood, which I'm still alongside, through a little wooded section of Memory Wood, I presume. This little belt of trees makes a pleasant difference to the predominating landscape. Very nice, mixed woodland as well. And lots of other little pockets of trees being grown as well. Lovely to see. Then you come out of the tree belt into open country, and skylark territory from listening to the background noise. And talking of noise, this has been quite a tranquil walk thus far, albeit I can just hear the hum of traffic somewhere. They've also been infilling holes in a hedge, which is excellent. Just hope these shrubs survive. I see a dike behind it, but as I say, it's February, end of, early March, and there's no water in them when they should be full. A very nicely cut hedge as well. Flat on the top, broad at the base. Lots of berries still on it. No decimation of this hedgerow. White thorn, no, black thorn, isn't it? Comes out first. White flower before the leaf. I think it's black thorn as opposed to hawthorn. Always get it mixed up. So at this juncture, we now join the E2 European long distance route. I have seen, but not been able to record, a number of redwings today as well. They won't be here much longer. Probably gathering in their flocks now to leave us for Siberia, etc. Blackbird's got wind of me over there. This is the Roman road, hence why it's so straight, I guess. And sad really to think that all those troops that marched up and down here years ago, quite ghostly really, and here I am in 2026 following a path built by the Romans. Yeah. So very shortly we go into Wandlebury Park. I didn't realise it had a calf. Information panel here about the Roman road. A road for soldiers, travellers, business and pleasure. Yeah, as I say, Google that for more information. Printed up by the Wildlife Trust. And in fact, if memory serves, we go down that way later once I've done a circuit of Wandlebury Park. So just opposite another information panel. We take this footpath on the left. No dogs, well, dogs on leads, no cycling, no horse riding. Good. There you go, if you want to become a guardian of this space. Plenty of bird noise in the background, it's like an aviary. actually come in via this barrier and go out the way I was stood by the sign a moment ago. It's only, what, 25 yards between them. Our highway boundary, designating us from the farmer's field, no doubt, which is vast. As I said earlier, the woodland here, what there is of it, is full of birds. Wonderful. About 220 foot up here, so as I thought, had I had lunch in this area, it would have been the high point of the walk. Come out into a picnic area here, as I suspected. Could be busy in the sunnier months though, because we're near the busy what was it? Can't remember the number, but there's a busy A road nearby. Yeah, the busy A1307. And this is Cherry Pond, which is one of the few features I've seen with water in it today. Water scorpions, eh? Information panel here about Wandlebury, the Cambridge Preservation Society. Google that if you're interested in learning more. Quite a busy car park down there, straight off that main A road, which you might now be able to hear. First audible noise disturbance I've had on this walk so far. Wonderful. I'm down in this hollow, and the robin and the song thrush are almost competing for the acoustics down here. It's not often when I struggle to speak above their volume, but it's certainly the case right now. Very loud voices, songs. Great Tit was also in amongst them a minute ago as well. So this information panel tells us about Iron Age Wandlebury. And this site was occupied around 2,500 years ago by the Iceni. As I say, Google that for more information if you're interested. Interesting place actually. They're saying temporary path closure, which is the path I need due to poor weather conditions, but obviously that's not appropriate to today. I think they've just forgotten to move the sign. A couple of belted galloways over there. I presume when the text was written, this path was used. But now it seems to be the other side of the hedge. Voila. Yeah, a little wildflower meadow being sown here, per that information panel there. Be nice in the summer. Views across the golf course here. Bit misty to get a good view, but nonetheless. 285 feet here, so a bit higher than the height indicated on the OS map, or my altimeter's a bit out, but nonetheless this is certainly the high point of the walk today, having crept up from 30 odd foot in the morning. Certainly no shortage of chaffinches up this way, and great tits as well in the background. Further view down the fairways. As you can see, the sky is just beginning to break. It looks like they've been busy cutting the ash back, those affected by dieback. So they should have all gone by now. Thinned it out a bit. Sad, isn't it, really? That's all down to man again, in my humble. Transporting stuff around the world. Seems what they do with the timber, aside from making log poles, is then break it down, fill holes in the footpath. Excellent use. Very renewable, recyclable. So now coming back out onto the Roman road to rewalk a section that I did earlier. So as I said earlier, we return to this point to continue the finale. Leaving that byway behind us, we now follow this avenue pretty much all the way to Fulbourn, I believe. Strong smell of fox around here. I'm just by the entrance to Fulbourn Lodge. This is called Babraham Road per the map. And as you can see in the distance there above the hedge, another hill of some height in the distance. I noticed that in northeast Essex as well, down by Saffron Walden. On the borders of Hertfordshire it's quite hilly. Probably an extension of that system, because we are in South Cambridgeshire here. Sign of the times these days with these rural farms. Grange Farm, they lease out what used to be old barns to other businesses now, thanks to the internet and solar power and what have you. These other companies can power themselves and communicate without needing a stuffy city office. Far more pleasant and lightly cheaper, I'd have thought. Certainly a lot of vehicles in there. There's a kite there in the distance, flying over some geese here, penned up, domestic geese. And the minute the kite arrived, they all started hissing and rearing up. Dicey S-bend there to contend with as you come out of Brabham Road. And that's it now, we're back in Fulbourn. So here we are, back where we started, 10 miles on the button pretty much, 3 hours 39 later. And that was a very decent walk actually. Shame the weather didn't play ball though, because it was quite overcast and chill, but perfect walking temperature. So yeah, very good walk. Not too taxing, and plenty of bird song around. Wonderful on that aspect. So that's country walking Fulbourn circular completed, and very good it was. Till the next time, because my bus is due in 5 minutes. Don't want to miss it.